Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, as usual, my microphone is acting up. Karibuni, 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 karibuni. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. I hope I'm audible. I hope you guys are doing well in this Christmas Eve or it's Christmas Day, whatever you are, depending on what part of the world you are located in. But karibuni sana for another session with Kenyan Revolutionary. Karibuni, karibuni. Pritpal Kaur, nice seeing you again. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying this festive season, holiday season, as some of you might call it. I know some of you might still be working through this holiday season, but it's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Pritpal, for the compliment. That's a nice sweater. It's an old one, actually. It's a very old one. But thank you. Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. Now, we are going to freestyle our way to, it's Christmas Eve. We're going to talk about everything and anything and everyone, okay? But the focus is this Kenyan government as usual, because we understand that this government is the source, not the source, but is a continuation of the colonization of this piece of land we called Kenya, this republic we call Kenya, okay? Some of these colonizers still consider it, a company. As you had Meg Whitman infamously called Kenya a company when she was in Spice FM. But yeah, but anyway, we shall be touching on different topics. The first one, I just want to mention something that I saw a few minutes ago. Ruto meeting Faki. And I'm not cussing. Faki is the name of the former AUC chairperson, the African Union chairperson, who Raila hopes to, get that jail once they carry out the election. I think it's February 12th or something like that, a few days before Valentine's Day. And he met Ruto earlier today, I think, somewhere in Sugoi, not Kilgoris, where Ruto resides. I hear Ruto has an union in Kilgoris. I'll play the video clip, then we shall come in on the back end and talk about it, okay? Now, a lot also has been happening. You had Gachagua, made some pronouncements a few days ago, and the government was not happy about this. Raymond Omolo came out and said, hey, Rigathi, you need to stop inciting people. Was it really incitement? I don't think so, in my humble opinion, but we'll also talk about that. Martha Karua had I think 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know how long that interview was. I will play it next, actually. And we'll listen to what Martha Karua said. I didn't get the chance to hear it, so I'll be listening to it the same time as you are. If you didn't watch the interview, I would like to hear what Martha said. One of the snippet that I saw on X was that she said that she doesn't consider Gachagua an enemy, that she's willing to work with anyone because the Kenyans' common enemy is Ruto. Now, for her to say that, it's okay, but again, I don't know. I don't think you should be saying that you will be willing to working with anybody. I mean, come on. Who is anybody? Everybody, Raila Odinga, are you going to work with him again? No. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's get the ball rolling. But first, before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't subscribed, please take 1 second and use that finger, boop, 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 the index finger, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, comment, and do all the good stuff. Even if you're going to watch this in repeat, please do the same. I know you're lazy, sitting on a couch somewhere watching Christmas movies or hanging out with your villagers, your families and friends. You can still do that later on when you're bored and you can't have a sleep. Just go ahead in Kenyan Revolution YouTube channel and watch this video, like it, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also, do not forget to hit that notification button, because that will let you know every time I'm in. Let's get started with these news clips. Okay, I'll start with Ruto meeting the former or the outgoing head of, his name is Moussa Faki. He was leaving. He went to meet Ruto. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here it is.
Ruto and the outgoing African Union Commission Chairman Moussa Faki held talks at the president's Kilgore's home in Narok County, where former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's candidacy was on the agenda. Also on the agenda was the ongoing reforms at the African Union, spearheaded by President Ruto, whose proposals will be tabled during the Heads of State Summit in February next year. Apol Kamau reports.
How is Addis? Thank you, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you. With slightly over a month to go to the African Union Commission vote in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, President William Ruto held talks with the outgoing chairperson Moussa Faki at his Kilgore's Narok home in the middle of an intense campaign by Kenya's candidate Raila Odinga to clinch the vote. According to sources, President Ruto is said to have campaigned for Odinga's candidacy in line with Kenya's push for AU reforms, while Moussa Faki is said to have assured the president of a smooth transition at the continental body, where the push for reforms has gathered pace. Moussa Faki's presence in Kenya is a diplomatic boost, given Kenya's role at the AU, where President Ruto is a champion of institutional reforms. Faki is likely to deploy his networks in Odinga's favor, with the final decision resting on individual African heads of state and prime ministers who wield the power of the vote.
The dynamics of the African continent are the ones that are going to determine, because the presidents and prime ministers are the ones to vote. And they will be voting on three things. One, what do they think of Kenya? Will their interest be jeopardized by having Kenyan at the top? What do they think of Ruto as a person? Then what do they think of Raila and his record? So if all those three factors favor Raila, then they'll vote for Raila. If they favor the other candidate, then he will lose. So it's a 50-50, and he should expect that he might lose. But if he loses, he's here.
Odinga is facing off with Mahamoud Yusuf of Djibouti and Richard James of Madagascar, where victory for Odinga will be a big political score for President William Ruto in the run-up to 2027, while a loss for Odinga is likely to come with political consequences. To win the vote, Odinga needs the support of 32 African countries. President Ruto, as a champion of AU reforms, will be seeking the nod of his fellow African heads of state come February next year on funding of African Union activities, which depends heavily on external donors, strengthening the African Court of Justice to handle African conflicts, considering 6 African countries have been suspended from the Union due to wars and coups. The new proposals also seek to strengthen the 20-year-old Pan-African Parliament, which sits in Johannesburg, South Africa, and to reduce its membership to less than 5 members from each African country and have regular sittings to oversight the African Union Commission. Apol Kamau, TV 47.
All right. To me, hold on for a second. To me personally, I feel some type of way about Mr. Faki visiting Ruto in his Kilgore's house, whatever the case is. Now, if we were to go to buy the clip, hey, I'll come there. I'll come there. If you are to go by the clip, first of all, the reporter says that Ruto is a champion in institutional reforms. I do not know what institutions that Ruto has reformed within Kenya, number one. Number two, he mentioned that 4 countries were left AU because of the coup d'etats that happened in those specific nations. Of course, AU is considered as a small puppet. It goes like it's kind of like the AU's small brother, okay? This is an institution that was created by the colonialists, all right? And as you can see, majority of the countries that are not part of the AU are really pro-people, pro-African. They have pro-African agenda. They're not taking their orders from Washington, D.C. or Buckingham Palace, okay? That's why I'm telling you that this AU thing, as much as we may not like to see Raila get this position, you never know, because like I said, majority of these members of this AU are colonial puppets. And Ruto is the star boy of all the African colonial puppets. Okay? He's the prefect of the colonialists. They put him there as the chaperone. Okay? He's advocating for everything they want, whether it's let me not say that stuff is on mashindano, whether it's all this climate nonsense, climate change nonsense. That's a way of the UAE and the European Union to grab African land, whether it's for the seeds that they want us to buy from them and not letting us have our natural seeds. Okay? Whether it's our involvement in Haiti, okay? Whether it's pro borrowing from the IMF and World Bank, telling us about, we need favorable loan terms compared to the European nations and other nations. The goal is not to borrow from IMF, World Bank, or any other nations. So for any leader who comes in, just like Raila Odinga did in the debates and his counterpart from, I think it was Mauritius, they both say that, the terms of borrowing from the IMF and World Bank are not favorable. That's why Africa is not doing well financially. Well, let's just take a look at the Sahel nations. How are they doing? They do not have. In fact, they turned down the loans from the IMF and World Bank. And look at how they're doing. They actually pay down their debts. They nationalize their resources, and voila, they're living large. Okay, so anyway, that's why I'm saying I still believe Raila Odinga won't make this AUC seat. He will not succeed, but we have to remember that these heads of states, they will be tapped on the shoulder by some powers that be from the Western nations and tell them to vote for a particular candidate, which I think might be Raila Odinga. But if we are talking about qualifications, the Eritrea one, the Eritrea gentleman from Eritrea, I think does an exceptional job. I think he's more qualified. Karibu sana Mr. Jared Wangira. Nice seeing you, brother. Hope you're doing well in this holiday season. I haven't seen you for a while. Karibu.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fine. It's almost a Merry Christmas here in Kenya. I don't know how many hours you are left with to celebrate Christmas there.
Oh, I'm still behind kidogo huko bado kukidio, but let me wish you a Merry Christmas before it reaches Christmas. Merry Christmas to Wangira and everyone on the chat.
Oh, thank you very much.
So what's in your mind today? I know there's a lot happening. Shulei was spilling beans. Ruto is still continuing with his shenanigans. I don't know. Where do you want to start? Because this is an open session. You can talk about anything you want.
You know, in very few hours, like 2 hours from now, we'll be celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ with our Lord and Savior. But very bad things are happening in the Republic of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
three families, don't know the whereabouts of their younger ones. There are three young.
Continue.
On Sunday, three of them, and up to.
You're breaking off a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you. Are you still there? All right. We lost Mr. Wangera. Hopefully he will be back in a few minutes. All right. Let me go to the comment section here somewhere. She ananiambia na shikanisha sasa. Haya. Ananiambia this year, I give gratitude to Kiharu MP for doing a wonderful job and the first and the best performing MP in Kenya. Congratulations. Ndindi, wengine bure kabisa. Okay, mambo. Haya. She ananiambia mambo ndio nashikanisha waya sasa. Okay. Ruto nataka kutengea huyo jamaa 10 billion Raila Odinga aende. Okay, Jason Opio Adori says Ruto is going nowhere just because Ruto resuscitated. What? I don't know what that last word is, but you'll help me with that. Okay, Wangera seems to be back. Let's hear what he has to say. Here he is. Yes, Wangera, you're back. I hope you can hear me this time.
Oh, thank you. Oh, we are in Africa where, internet is not that reliable. So, you'll have to bear with me as I give my contribution this evening. So, I was telling you that, today, as we near Christmas, the day that we are celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, three young persons, very, very young persons, one I understand is a university student, their whereabouts is not known. And, there is a claim that they were abducted. They were claimed that they were abducted. Three of them in a duration of 2 days, they were abducted and their whereabouts is not known. And, we know that, under Article 49, of our 2010 Constitution, there's what we call the rights of an arrested person. Where you must be told, what offenses you are being arrested for, where you are being taken to. You must be given an opportunity to reach to your lawyers or to somebody who can be of help to you. Then you must be arraigned in court within 24 hours. So if these guys were taken in, on Saturday and Sunday, and today is Tuesday, getting into Wednesday, then we are doing almost 72 hours, or beyond the 24 hours, stipulated time for a person to be arraigned in court as is provided for under the law. And again, the other day I heard the Inspector General of Police saying that, it's not the police who are abducting these people, or they could be other people who could be even criminals who are abducting them. But, in a country that is governed by the rule of law, it is the responsibility of the police to ensure that law and order is adhered to. The people are safe, people are protected. It is the obligation of the National Police Service. That's why, we appropriate a lot of money every year, to facilitate the functioning of the National Police Service. So it's not enough for the Inspector General to tell the people of Kenya that, it's not the police who are doing it. What are the police doing? Because, the outcry is there. People are saying that, people are being abducted. What are the police doing about it? That's the question. And again, are we in a scenario where, we are having people who are operating outside the formal police structure and, doing things, that are criminal in nature, like the ones that we are seeing where, somebody is taken in 72 hours later, that person whereabouts is not known. It takes me back to the days of Idi Amin Dada. Idi Amin Dada had a unit called, the State Research Bureau. The work of the State Research Bureau during Idi Amin Dada's time was to abduct people, kill people. So, it makes me wonder, what is really happening in the Republic of Kenya, a country that is supposed to be governed under the rule of law. Why are these things happening? It does not matter the type of offense a person is purported to have committed. Even Ezekiel Ochuka, who was accused of trying to overthrow the government of Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, was taken through, what we call the due process, at the court martial, and the court martial reached, a verdict that was legal or constitutional. So, what is so hard that, if you believe that a person has broken the law, to arrest this person, arraign him before court? Where are these young people? And even if the Inspector General of Police is saying that, it is the police, it's not the police who are doing it. What is the police doing to ensure that, these people are safe, or these people are brought to safety? These are questions that, we must keep on asking as the people of Kenya. Because, assuming that, it's not the police that are doing it, let me say that I'm in agreement with the Inspector General that they are not the police who are doing it. Then the question is, who are these people, who are bold enough, they are very bold enough to abduct young people, 3 of them in a span of less than 24 hours, where do they get the courage to do that, these are some of the questions that we must ask as the people of Kenya. It does not out well, because, something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. And there is this the silence, the silence of even the head of state. There is, the head of state, should have even said, what is happening is wrong. Because, these are like his sons or grandchildren. Kids who are 21, 22, 25, are like his own children, and if they're being abducted and, you are head of state, you need to come and say that, what is happening is not right. And you need to instruct the police to move in quickly to ensure that these people are brought into safety. But, what we are seeing, is a deep silence, apart from, what the Inspector General of Police told us, that it's not the police who are doing it, we are seeing it deep silence, nothing much is coming out, to advocate for the release or to advocate for the safety of these young people. Our political con man, who I'm talking about, is now silent. I believe they say that it's bad manners to talk when you have food in the mouth. Perhaps he has food in the mouth, and that's perhaps the reason why he's not talking. So we are not in a very good place, as a country, as the people of Kenya. We are not in a very, very good place.
Mr. Wangira, when you're eating and you start talking, the food that's in my mouth can spill in your face and it might offend you. So, so I think maybe he feels maybe it should be quiet. But what seems to be happening, the common denominator seems to be this. The people that we have entrusted to carry out their administrative duties in a lawful way, okay, William Samoei Ruto being the head of the executive, who we can all agree that he has infiltrated every independent governmental institution and every arm of government, be it judiciary or legislative body. Because there's actually, I don't know if you had this, maybe you might know much about it, I don't know. There's a law that they are working on right now, which it has something to do with monitoring cyber cafes or something like that. Did you hear anything about that, Mr. Wangira? They want to monitor cyber cafes. They're saying that there's this cyber cafe are where people do, I don't know, illegal stuff, or they get into there and I don't know. CT was talking about it in his I think he has his YouTube channel or something like that. And I was like, this is something they're working on. So basically, what the end game seems to be from this administration is to muzzle any dissenting voices. Okay? Because basically, if you want to monitor who goes to the cyber cafe and what kind of things they are doing on the internet, okay? What kind of freedom is that? You're infringing on their own individual freedom. Because I mean, if I was to go to a public cyber cafe and I want to use the internet, whether I want to as long as I'm not, doing something illegal in the internet, or, I should be able to not worry about the government trying to find out what kind of website I visit or whatever the case is. So I think this is troubling. And among other things, now, as you mentioned, the problem is there's no due process, and they don't want to be responsible as part, as the independent institution like the police. So they come up with this wakora, this police who are not uniformed. They come to your house, abduct you with guns and all this stuff. Now nakushika. They're trying to do that so that they can avoid us pointing fingers to the police and tracing it back to Ruto doing this, because I think Martha Karua in her interview, and I would like to listen to it. I know it's a lengthy one. I don't know if I will have the chance to play it. She kind of mentioned that Ruto gets briefed on this young man. I understand one of the young men was the one who made that AI image of Ruto laying down in a casket. And soon after that, they came for him. That's not an offense. That's artistic expression. And it's not something to, even if you're offended, it's not illegal. You can be offended. I can offend somebody, but it shouldn't be considered illegal. And now they're going after Gachagua, who was, I don't think he said anything. I don't know, unless you can help me. I saw Nani Omolo, PS Omolo saying, oh, Gachagua is inciting people. Is there something that he said that maybe I missed that you would consider incitement, Mr. Wangira?
Oh, before I just respond to you, let me respond to Joseph Ador, one of our men on the platform there, who is saying that, abduction did not start today. They started during the Jomo Kenyatta's time. They have been there during Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi's time, during Kibaki's, and perhaps even during Uhuru's time. I want to agree with him, yes. But, we don't need to use, another case to justify another case. Because here we are dealing with an immediate case that happened 72 hours ago, where, the safety of 3 young people, is not assured or guaranteed because nobody knows where they are. So, we don't need to drag in all this issue of, during who. A wrong is a wrong. You cannot use a wrong to justify another wrong. One wrong to justify another one. So, it's wrong, If anybody is abducted, it's wrong. Just like, they murdered J.M. Karaoke in 1975. It was equally wrong when they assassinated, Robert John Ouko in 1990. It was equally wrong. It was wrong when, they did the same, to our brother Musando. So, nothing can justify the other. A wrong is a wrong. So let us not use other cases, to try and justify, what is wrong, what is already wrong here. What is wrong is wrong. On the issue of spying, I understand there was supposed to have been a law that was supposed, somebody was proposing a law that, that will enable, our spy masters to be able to spy on you directly. There was somebody who was proposing, for such a law. And I don't know how far it has gone. But again, there's this question that we need to ask ourselves. Somebody must be spying on people, or somebody must be spying on people. How do they end up knowing that, these young people are at a particular spot? How do they end up knowing that, you are perhaps in Kitengela, or perhaps you are in Embu, or perhaps you are where? We are told that, they are not the police. That's what the Inspector General told us, that they are not the police. But, in the manner that they're operating, they look like people, who are very well informed, that people who could be spying and, monitoring your movements, How are they in a position to monitor your movement, if they are not tracking your gadgets? So that tells you that somebody somewhere, must be tracking, particular people's gadgets, for purposes of doing whatever we are seeing happening in this country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true. Karibu sana Mabri, I see you. I know Mabri always have something up in his sleeve or his chest ambayo anataka kutuambia. Fungua roho. Whatever issue that bothers you, please wherever you want to start. Umesumbuliwa na hii mambo ya abduction, ama umekasirika kwa sababu wakina Kabogo wameingia kwa serikali, or wherever you want to start. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. First, let me wish everyone a Merry Christmas. It's almost the time when all Christians will be celebrating the Christmas, and I know the holiday mood in a click. Let me start by just noting, you said something about the new proposed regulations to monitor cyber cafes. Yeah, it is a proposal by the Communications Authority of Kenya, and it proposes licensing requirements whereby cyber cafes will be required to obtain a specific license under the internet cafes category. That's a new category which has been introduced. The policy also proposes mandatory surveillance, whereby operators will be required to install CCTV systems within their premises. And also, it requires user identification and activity loggings. Now, this means cyber cafes will be obligated to implement systems that record user identities and log in their online activities. Now, worth noting, this proposal is now in the public consultation stage, and it is quite funny now that everyone is in the mood to celebrate. It is actually in the public participation, and they will close it on January 23rd. So please take note. Because I think by ukiangalia the activities which are happening and the proposal, you'll realize no one is paying attention to that proposal. Right now we are in the celebration mood. Come January, everyone is busy trying to find school fees, watoto warudi shule, and now that's the time you are supposed to give your feedback on this proposal. Quite funny.
So you see, sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to say something very quickly. You see the judgment. Just briefly before and don't forget your train of thought. You see the same thing happened with that IEBC amendment bill, because the judgment that came, I think, was last week or week before that. The judge said one of the reasons why they said, they said it was passed illegally is because there was no substantive public participation. No one. There was no participation. Basically, our watu walienda wakatuambia, okay, we want to amend the ninio, but there was no input from the people, and that's the reason why it was struck down. And now I wonder, and I also pose this question as you finish your ninio. I'll also pose the same question to you, Nani Mabri, and also Wangira. With the judge making that judgment regarding IEBC, does it mean that we now revert to the old, the original 2010 IEBC law? Nasi amendment bill, amendment act, we got where Ruto will have to make that selection panel, choose the selection panel without consulting with the Railas, because this amendment bill was the new of NADCO, came out of the NADCO. Okay, but anyway, just marinate on that as you finish your thought, and you can also answer that. Then thank you.
Okay. Yeah, of course. That now after the court pronounced the whatever the NADCO had proposed illegal, of course it reverts back to the 2010 constitution, And now there will be a conflict of the of the constitution, because the old one demands the IEBC should be in office, I guess, 3 years before the election period. But now we are already in 2024, actually 2025, and we are supposed to hold elections in 2027. Now, a lot of things have been happening, and if we could go back a bit to the Gen Z movement and the demos, since then, a lot of bills have been passing without the public knowledge. And they are very key bills which are being presented in the parliament and no one notices. And just like what happened during the Gachagua impeachment, you know, Kenyans sometimes we need to pause and think before we speak sometimes. Like you remember, in the case of Gachagua, this is what happened. You know, we were being asked as the public, should Gachagua go? And then, as Kenyans, we were there saying, kufa dereva, kufa makanga. By saying that, we are just saying, Gachagua must go. You get? Okay.
Not necessarily. The Kenyans say kama Gashaga anaenda aende constitutionally, msifanye hii abracadabra alafu mnamuondoa unconstitutionally. So that's what basically Kenyans
if you like what I'm saying is, if you followed the proceedings, like Kenyans were like kufa dereva kufa makanga, Gachagua akienda pia Ruto aende. You know, by saying that, we are first acknowledging Gachagua must go. So we ended up, because the motion was on Gachagua. Now, what is happening in Kenya since that time is what I call the making of a dictator. Because right now we don't have an opposition. It is the government against the people. Someone mentioned like previously abductions used to happen, but if you look at what used to happen, it was more like the government trying to silence the opposition, which was now led by the likes of Raila Odinga. You get? So every abduction was kind of strategic. Right now, it is the government against the public. That's why you are seeing they are abducting the public. And you know, Ruto came with the finance bill. We went into the streets. He declined to ascend it. Right now, he's like throwing tantrums just to test what Kenyans want, what don't want. And mind you, let me tell you something. And maybe this will be my closing remark before maybe someone else gives his own view. Stealing elections in Kenya is not a matter of like going for the numbers. You first create a perspective on people's mind. I'll give you a scenario like what happened in 2017. We saw a case of the Vifaranga computer, the 54 point something percent. What they did, they were very keen to look at to work out on their numbers. Like, let's say I'm Mabri, I'm from Ukambani, and maybe Wangira is from Luyaland. So I have my stronghold here. Wangira has his own stronghold. So as Mabri, I'll make sure I get 100% because I'm the person who has the intention of stealing. From where I'm coming from the eastern region, I'll get 100% vote turnout. And now, since I know Wangira from his region, of course he has to get some numbers. I will only manipulate my candidate. I mean, anyone who is vying against Wangira's candidate to come number 2. That means if Wangira's candidate is number 1, my candidate is number 2, I'll be able to close in the gap. I can easily explain why I managed to win. And that was basically what happened with the faranga of your computer. You'd come a place like Ukambani where Jubilee have no votes, and you'd find their candidates being number 2 almost everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
And
they
then from
justify that
Central,
walipata mkura hapo kidogo. Yeah.
Yes, that's how they
Oh.
stole the elections. Come to 2022, you saw what happened. They later came to realize they don't even have enough MPs because they were focusing on selling a narrative. And Raila, in his own mind, he went on to choose Martha Karua, and now Ruto knew very well Martha has no influence because of the party, so it was easier to manipulate the votes from that side for Martha to get 0. You get, even from our own constituency.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish. So you see what Ruto is doing right now. He's managed to bring Baba at least on board, and he's also trying to bring Uhuru on board. So what will basically happen is he will play with our psychology. 2 key things worth noting. You remember about there's this new bill they just passed the other day, and they were proposing if the president-elect immediately is elected, he gets a presidential treat from security to cars and everything. Immediately he's announced president, even before being sworn in. You saw that?
Is it the one that has to do with the transition of power? I don't think
yes.
I don't think it has passed yet, has it? I think it was on the work
No,
works.
but it
go
is
ahead.
only waiting to go to parliament. But you saw that proposal. That's what I'm saying. There's that proposal. Again, before that, there was a proposal to not live stream elections.
Yes.
And
that
then
one too hasn't
here comes
passed.
Yes. Here comes Ruto appoints Murkomen to be the CS for Interior. Those 3 things will play out very well, you know. And you can go back to history. If a president is elected, for you to go back to nullify the elections, go back and let the opposition win, it will be a tall order. We've seen that even with the 2017 where Raila decided, you know what, with this IBC, we can't go on unless you get.
Yes.
Then the Ruto went on to win the election, and that's what happened. So in 2027, if it happens, Ruto wins, immediately wins, you get, before you even contest it anywhere, you get.
Yeah.
He's already been accorded the presidential treat. He has the security, everything. And now they went on to propose, if you try to interfere with that transition of power, either the swearing in or what, you'll be fined 10 million or you serve a jail term of 10 years or both.
Wow. That's what the proposal is saying.
Actually, that's what it says.
Okay. I haven't read it. I just had bits and parts of it in discussions here and there, but I haven't. Wow.
I've gone through it. So you see now the dangers of what might happen.
Yes. Okay.
Because now, sorry.
No, I was just.
So now
I just
it will be it. Okay, sorry.
No, I was just. I thought you were done, so I can throw the same question to Wangira, but.
Okay, let me just wrap up. So this means if now Uhuru is now on board, it is now a manipulation. You know, we all have from the 2022, we are being sold the idea that Baba got some numbers in Central because of Uhuru. So those numbers now will go to Ruto. You get?
Yes.
Of course, by stealing, because it is something we are being sold. Like, you know, Uhuru ameingia hapa, so definitely wataanza kuwa na numbers huko. You get?
Yep.
We go back to Nyanza. Baba amekuwa hapa, so of course watapewa nini kura hapa. You know, hata kama si mingi, kidogo tu. And then this guy goes to Luhyaland, gets the numbers because he already have the two Luhya kingpins. Let me call them that, Wetangula and Mudavadi. Then he goes to Rift Valley and he tries like to steal everything because hakuna mtu atacontest you at Rift Valley at you know, he didn't get them. Then what next? He will add the numbers. So it's upon the young people right now to get their IDs, register as voters, and try to like assemble as many MP aspirants as possible. That's the only way we are going to beat them. You either steal, we contest you in parliament, we impeach you, ama mtuibie. Now, like mpate, there is no house you can control from Senate to parliament. Yeah.
I agree with you with the plan. In fact, it's funny that you say that they're trying to create this narrative or perception that Ruto will probably. In fact, there was a poll today that I saw. I think it was Standard or somewhere, which said if things stay as it is right now, Ruto will win elections in 2027. I saw that and I was like, wameanza hizi mchezo. But yeah, Wangira, what's your take on this, especially with what Mabry said something interesting when he said Kenyans wanted Gachagua to go, essentially saying that when they said dereva akienda, makanga whatever, dereva ende or something like that. To me, I took it as Kenyans were okay with Gachagua going as long as he lives with Ruto, not just Gachagua and Ruto also. But they were not happy with the process, the unconstitutional processes which he knew. But you can answer that and also respond to anything that you feel like you need to respond to based on Mabry's assertion here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me start with, that article that says that, when things remain the way they are, then, Ruto is likely to win the 2027 election. It was an article written by somebody. I don't want to mention names of people here because, I'll be accused of, targeting people on the basis of their tribe or origin. But, if you look at, the originator of that particular article, then, you just know that, you cannot say anything contrary because it was an article. If you look at the originator of that article, then, you conclude that, you could not have said anything that is contrary. On the IBC, what I see being called in Nairobi, zile michezo za town. Michezo za town. I don't think that, somebody is keen to see that, elections are held in 2027. Me, I don't think that somebody is keen to see that elections are held in 2027. I've argued it here previously, and that remains my stand. The IEBC Act, the original, the Mother Act was adopted in 2011. The IEBC Act, and it has been amended severally. But there was this amendment that was brought in, you remember after the Chereras left, there was an amendment that was brought in that was later re-amended by what was the NADCO.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
Now, so the NADCO introduction has been declared, null and void. But, it was amending a particular provision of the IEBC Act, which means that that section of the IEBC Act, that was amended, stands amended. It does not exist in law because it was amended. So if you amend something, it stands amended. So where we are, we are stuck. We don't seem to have, a route, a way out, on how to constitute that panel, that will select, the IEBC commissioners. But, I think that, this is playing out, into the court of somebody. Somebody seems to be enjoying this game. That somebody I've told you that, is not keen to see elections held in this country in 2027 for the obvious reasons. And listen here, you remember how, Rigathi Gachagua was, politically lynched in parliament. The process, of the removal of Gachagua is what I call, political lynching. There was no justification for the removal of Rigathi Gachagua. Again, I've started seeing, another scheme that, if you look at the way it's being pushed, it has similar designs like those of the removal of, Rigathi Gachagua. There is, Ahmed Nasir, the Grand Mullah. Then there's Nelson Habi. They are pushing for the removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. And, they are given a lot of accusation, corruption in the judiciary, what have you, a lot of many things, But, the law is very, very clear. You can be held culpable for your own omission or commission. But, you cannot be held accountable for what is blanket accusations. But, what I'm seeing, in Nelson Habi and, Ahmed Nasir, this is a blanket accusation, against the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. And, who could be behind, the push for the removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya? I'm not saying that the Chief Justice is the best of the Chief Justices that we have, but, being a believer in the rule of law, I'm a serious believer in the rule of law. And that's why, in 2010, we gave to the people, we gave to ourselves and the people of Kenya, the 2010 Constitution. And the 2010 Constitution is very, very clear on how you can remove the Chief Justice or any other judge. And, it's very, very clear. The processes are very clear. They don't include, trying to force, the Chief Justice to resign. Why do they want the Chief Justice to resign? That would be the question. And, I've told you that, we are almost, where Congo DRC was, under Joseph Kabila. Joseph Kabila never wanted to see election in Congo DRC. And he played a lot of games, you remember, going to the Constitutional Court, and have it, So me, I'm seeing that scenario because already the court here has ruled that, we don't seem to have a law that can make up, empanel, create a panel that, that will select, the IEBC commissioners. So where are we today? Today is almost Christmas Day. Where are we? We are stuck. So, we are likely to get into 2025, as a country that is stuck somewhere politically. And remember that, I told you here the other time that, there is this elephant in the house called the limitation of boundaries.
Yes.
It's an elephant in the house. Somebody will want to know, people will start asking whether we can go for elections in 2027 without the limitation of boundaries. Because, the law was clear that, within 10 to 12 years, you must delimit, the boundaries. We have not done it. The last time we did it was in 2012, I believe. That's the last time we did it, when we were after just the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. That's when we did it. And, that's how we came up with the 290 constituencies that we have today. And, we are supposed to have done it, between 2022 and 2024, which we have not done because, we are almost getting to the end of 2024, going into 2025. So the question will be, can we go to the next general elections, without the limitation of boundaries? And again, somebody is playing a game here, is delaying, the appointment of IEBC commissioners. And I told you the other time here, I argued it here that, people disagreed with me, and that remains my point of argument. We are not here to agree with, you are not here to agree with everything I say, just like you are not here to agree with everything you say, but it remains my opinion. Somebody somewhere could be playing games. Somebody somewhere could be playing games, assuming that, the nearest we can get the IBC commissioners is the month of September or October 2025. When they are settling in the office, that will be December 2025. We are getting into January 2026. Somebody can argue. You'll go to court. Somebody can go to court. And that's, that's some of the games you are seeing. Perhaps they want a soft Chief Justice who can push, to ruling in their favor in such like matters. Somebody can go to court and argue that, the IBC was not in office. So, we don't seem to have adequate time, to prepare for the general election. We have not done, boundaries delimitation. Can the Supreme Court, in an opinion, or advise whether, we can extend the duration for the general election by 2 years?
Wow.
My brother, don't be shocked.
Yes.
Don't be shocked. And, the court can agree and say that, given, the difficulties and the circumstances surrounding the preparation of the election, or no, let us allow the IBC a leeway of 2 years, so that they can prepare for what they will call, a free and fair election. These things are likely to happen. So, you people, your eyes, are looking at 2027, and we could be into this thing up to 2029 or even 2030. That has been my argument, and it's remains so.
Right. Thank you. And I wanted to just go back to when you said after the Cherera fall there was an amendment. Actually, that amendment it was also shut down by, I think it was Justice Muthambi or Sambi Muthambi. It was a lady justice who said that I'm paraphrasing her ruling. She said that we cannot just do things out of political expediency. The IBC should be reconstituted, and actually, because the original one, the 2011 one, I think it is the responsibility of the president to empanel a selection panel, which will in turn choose the commissioners or whatever, but they have to be approved by the parliament, I believe. And Ruto did, to be fair to him, Ruto already did that, but it was the Azimio side, because that was right before the NADCO talks, and the Azimio side said, La hasha, if you continue to do that, if you dare do that, we are going back to the streets. And that's when mchezo wa town ikaanza hapa and the Kalonzos, because I remember that judgment, it was already shut down. So if we are to go back to the original one, as you mentioned, because the judge pronounced herself on that, because that was when the elimination period was about to elapse. That's when so the president should go ahead right now as it stands, because the court has pronounced itself on this issue. All these amendments that has been done since Cherera 4 and whatever have all been shut down, and now the president has to go back. I think, in my opinion, that's how it should work. Choose a selection panel that will go ahead and choose these commissioners, and the parliament either approve or disapprove. And number two, regarding what was it? The Chief Justice Koome. Abdi Nasir has a personal vendetta against Justice Koome. If you remember, it was the Supreme Court who barred his law firm from representing anyone in the Supreme Court. I don't know if you remember that. And he was really, really, really offended with this. And he actually, he spent almost a month writing how the judicial system is corrupt and all this is. His main argument with Nelson Harvey, I think it's not just because she's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I think it's her not taking care of the corruption that's happening. I think because as the Chief Supreme Court, Justice, she's the head also of the JSC, Justice Service Commission, where if there's any complaint about any judge, she should be, looking over that and making sure that judge is taken care of, is removed from the bench or whatever the case is. So that is the argument. They're saying that she's not doing anything regarding clearing up the judicial system. But again, like I said, Ahmed Nasir really is really heavily vested into this issue because his law firm was, walitolewa kwa ninio. They were barred from representing anyone in the Supreme Court, so he's still butthurt about that. Anyway, Mabri, any response? Ulikuwa na mambo ingine? Najua ulikuwa na mambo ingine kali.
Yes. So, just to comment on history, Mother Kome. From where I stand, I don't think this lady amekuwa akidispense like justice like fairly, whatever it is, like the entire judicial system seems to be compromised, although sometimes they want to act like wako na wananchi, but when it matters, that's when they go ahead na wanapitisha vitu funny and ukiangalia what is happening anytime the government inataka kupitisha kitu, it is contested in the courts, they appoint judges, hata wenye wanaappointiwa to deal with the case, ushajua tu what will happen. I was so surprised the other day, Mother Kome goes to meet President Ruto to talk about how to address corruption in the judicial system. That's like appointing hyenas to decide on how sheep should be kept on the security of the sheep, actually.
Right.
Now, like my brother said, by the way, something is unfolding. And just the other day, nilikumentionia kitu hapa na mkaona ni jokes. There is a scheme which is coming out, and among the names which you might see fronted to take over the seat of the Chief Justice is one Bosch Shole. You know, na ukitaka kujua it was happening, there is this funny case imekuja ikamgonga about her procuring a house of the Chief Justice wakati alikuwa clerk of the nini. You remember?
Yes,
because
I had the case. I didn't know they
ameaccused.
Yeah.
No, it is said actually the allegations were wakati alikuwa the clerk, I guess, of the judiciary, she procured a house worth, I guess, 500 million. Ikuwe the house of the Chief Justice, vile kuna State House, vile kuna house of the Deputy President. So she authorized the procurement of a Chief Justice house, and the house is vacant until today. Nobody knows what happened to that house. Iko tu vacant. You get?
Yeah.
So kulikuwa tu na kamchezo inaendelea. You remember, actually ni jana. Kuna kitu important alisema, mimi rais, mimi ni mtu wako, I'm a very loyal servant. Ukiniambia Gachagua aende, anaenda. You remember?
Yes, I do remember. I think I have the clip
Look
somewhere.
at the people who are being awarded these positions. They are like, ni watu tu wanaongea hivi, you get? Na ukiangalia ameanza kutokea as if ako against Ruto all of a sudden, you get? There is a high possibility. Yes, unaona kama hiyo story ya nani akiongea alikuwa anakaa ni kama he wants to reveal some things about what has been happening.
Yeah.
Although that was a very big mistake. You get? It was like alikuwa jaribu kuambia president, I know some funny dealings. So hii story, hii kesi yangu hii ya EACC, tafadhali work on it. You get? But she is among the key people being fronted to be the Chief Justice. Now, what I wish come 2025 should happen, I wish we could go back to the streets once again, because hizi vitu unaona zikifanyika sahi with the Uhuru coming to the government, Ruto appointing the likes of Murkomen, hizi zinakuonyesha ni strategy zilikuwa zimepangwa, si kitu ameamka leo akaamua, na zilikuwa zikuje kufanywa kumanipulate the elections. But good thing he's been pressed, zimefanyika mapema sana, hizi ni cards amepull mapema sana, you get. So if we could push Murkomen, tumpush, you get, aji-expose, because hata nikwambie that guy is heartless, and nikisema hivyo, the other day you remember us having a conversation about the possibility of electing Junet to become the interior CS, and I told you one thing, kuna issue, there is a big problem. If you remember my words, I told you that's a very very key docket yenye hawezi pea opposition, na akiwapea there will be a contest from the Mount Kenya. You see, it unfold just as I had told you, because he had to give him the seat to someone who is loyal. Angeipeana Mount Kenya juu already sahi kuna vita, na angeipea opposition, wanaweza mmaliza nayo, so aliipea mtu loyal. Sahi hata kama wewe ni MP wa UDA from Ukambani, let me tell you, hata ukuwe loyal aje, haezi kuamini, lazima ape mtu wa nyumbani, you get. Huo at least wanaweza ongea kikale a control. Another thing with Martha Koome, you remember the story of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza?
Yes.
Amesave madam, si kesi ilikuwa jivi, amemsave for almost the 4th time sahi, yet the MCA yuko like beyond every reasonable doubt washaonyesha this lady is not working. But hii Kenya imefika mahali, when you challenge someone of the opposite gender, it now becomes an attack on gender, you get. Because hapa Martha Koome alikam clear akianza kusema anaambiwa resign juu ya gender yake. Si alisema hivyo?
Nakumbuka.
Because he's a woman.
Ai. Analeta mambo ya hot air hapa.
I make sense.
Koome is incompetent. Hata tukiangalia though, sijui sasa wakimtoa kuna watu wanasema wanataka kuweka justice yule mama mwingine anaitwa Jimmy, si Mwita, anaitwa mama na mwingine anaitwa nani? Mwilu, yes, Mwilu, yes.
Then huyu deputy wake
most likely watamweka.
That's another scam of a human being.
Huyo deputy wake
constitute bench. She's the one who constituted the bench.
Gachagua.
Martha Koome, do you know hajawahi ongelelea hiyo story ya Gachagua?
By the way, but your story inaendelea nini? I think it's January 23rd. Si inaendelea kwa sababu story ya Gachagua haijaisha.
No, but ndio isha. Either way isha, because whatever is remaining is to decide on the process, not like the impeachment thing. Ni kuamua alimpichiwa, so hawezi simama, ama hakuimpichiwa anaweza simama. Hawezi rudi kwa ofisi, you get.
Alisema hata mimi niko nafikiria anataka kwenda ninio. Alikuwa nafikiria anataka kwenda ninio appellate court, kwa sababu hakukubaliana na hiyo maoni yao hiyo koti ya high court. So I think that's what I thought alikuwa ataenda appellate court ndio wasikie, alafu appellate court ikikata hivi.
What they were doing is they are contesting the process, not the grounds. You know, the grounds of impeachment are simple. Gachagua was impeached. Gachagua was
No,
in
but if
peace.
the process was flawed, it's not constitution. Yeah, listen me. Nasema hivi, hata kama alikuwa impeach, lakini if the process is illegal, then it nullifies the whole thing because the constitution is very clear how the process should be undertaken. So if it's hakufuatilia the process, that means mlimtoa illegally. So that can be reversed. Ndio maana watu wanasema, of course, appellate court if they decide in favor of Gachagua, obviously the government wale watu walikuwa wanataka kumtoa, who is I don't know who it was, the government or whatever the case is, hawa kina
No.
yule MP mjinga Ojienda watapeleka hiyo kesi Supreme Court and
Gachagua alikataa
Yeah.
stories za kuappeal about the case. Whatever is remaining is for the court to decide whether Gachagua was impeached legally or illegally. But Gachagua is impeached. We already have another deputy president. Hawezi rudi. Hata yeye mwenyewe unaona ashaamua hawezi rudi. So whatever alikuwa amepeleka kwa appellate court ali withdraw. Is no longer appealing.
so hataki kuendelea na hiyo. Yeye amekubali ati ametoka.
Yeah, akakubali, but now it is for the court to decide whether Gachagua can stand, alikuwa impeached, ama sijui whatever other pronunciation ama terms watakama up nazo to make it ni kama hakuimpeachiwa. You get? Because unajua the constitution says kama he was impeached, he cannot stand for elections in 2027. Sorry. Yeah, so that's what is remaining in court.
Yeah. Haya, ndio usho leo ulikuwa unasema, hebu tusikie ulikuwa unasema vile alikuwa anasema ndio huyu.
It is a great day and it's a day that we just give thanks. I'm one of these people I'm told to speak briefly, I speak briefly. Your Excellency, I'm your loyal soldier. When you tell me speak briefly, I speak briefly. If you tell me Gachagua ende nyumbani, Gachagua anaenda nyumbani. So I always follow orders, and I will follow those orders today, and therefore I'll be very brief. I've just come to say thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting this church. I also
hebu tuone one more time, it's a short one.
It is a great day, and it's a day that we just give thanks. I'm one of these people I'm told to speak briefly, I speak briefly. Your Excellency, I'm your loyal soldier. When you tell me speak briefly, I speak briefly. If you tell me Gachagua ende nyumbani, Gachagua anaenda nyumbani. So I always follow orders, and I will follow those orders today, and therefore I'll be very brief. I've just come to say thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting this church. I also
Ruto alikuwa sasa huyu mama ameongea sana.
Yes. Because Ruto alikuwa anataka hii story organic ilitoka parliament. You get? Hata ukiangalia is never commented on amekuwa tu akiondokea. But umenotice now Bolshoi kuna kitu alisema and she was so deliberate. Hata umeona reaction ya Ruto like ameshindwa sasa uju si ameharibu.
Haya, kuna ingine pia nataka ucomment hii video ingine, nataka uniambie mambo inaendelea gani, because I don't know what's going on. Ni mambo ya SHA shift, pesa ile inatoka SHA shift sijui kumbe inaenda sijui wapi. Hebu niambie, maybe you have a backstory of this. Nilisikia hii na hata nikashikwa kuna
health insurance fund to a secret escrow account allegedly controlled by a consortium contracted to implement the integrated healthcare information technology system are safe and are being held in 6 banks locally. Gloria Milimu kickstarts our broadcast tonight.
As efforts to ensure all Kenyans become members of the Social Health Authority continue through the ongoing mass registration campaign exercise across the country, it is alleged that monies collected under the Social Health Insurance Fund are being deposited to a secret escrow account as per confidential contract entered between the Ministry of Health and a consortium. It is alleged that the contract that remains shrouded in secrecy allows parties to jointly issue instructions to the agent to set up an account to be held in the name of the escrow agent. It further alleges that the procuring entity will immediately, upon commencement of registration and payments by end users of the system, transfer or procure the transfer to the escrow account of such amount necessary to enable it meet its present and future payment obligations. An escrow is said to be a financial arrangement whereby a third party is entrusted to hold funds pending execution of a contract. However, the Social Health Authority has rubbished the claims, stating that SHIF contributions are safe. Acting Social Health Authority Chief Executive Officer Robert Ingarisa told KTN that the monies that have so far been collected, amounting to 14 billion within a span of 2.5 months, are being collected through a system that goes to at least 6 bank accounts.
It is from those bank accounts we disburse to the hospitals.
Ingarisa further says that the 6 collecting banks have been integrated to the SHA system to facilitate the collection of member contributions.
Anyone seeking to pay to the SHIF account, one, you have to interact with our system. You'll be able to generate a payment advice. So armed with your payment advice, you go to the bank, our collecting bank. They will be able, because of integration, be able to view that payment advice from their side and then receive your money against that advice.
The 6 banks include KCB, ABSA, Cooperative, CDN, Equity, and Diamond Trust Bank.
I wish to assure that the money that is meant to fund the social health insurance for the public, it's very safe. It is in SHA accounts held in the 6 banks and nowhere else.
Questions have also been raised regarding the decision to have a separate pay bill for SHIF remittances, contrary to President William Ruto's single pay point for all government services as per the July 2023 directive. Critics reckon it could be the reason why an escrow account allegedly exists, even despite a late warning on its creation for not being in line with existing public finance laws.
The government, in an effort to help us stabilize, gave us an exceptional exemption for 3 months, within which we were to use this pay bill. Thereafter, we shall revert to the government's pay bill under its.
Meanwhile, as a way of ensuring the monies under the 3 funds do not mix, each has its own designated account according to SHA. The Primary Healthcare Fund and the Emergency Chronic Critical Illness Fund, which are Exchequer funded, have so far received 4 and 2 billion shillings respectively. Another 1 billion shillings caters for the indigents according to the Social Health Authority. Gloria Milimu, KTN.
Okay, so here we are being told there's an escrow account that has been formed. For those of you who don't know what escrow account, I'll give you a simple example. Kama Mabri and Jared wako na contract na wanataka your contract, your contract lasts, let's say 1 year, and when the contract has been met, Mabri anafaa kupatia Wangira 20 million ama 20 shillings. Mimi Kenya Rebel, I'm the escrow, mimi ndio nashika hiyo pesa. Sasa hii pesa ipeani kwa Jared mpaka hiyo contract ikuwa met. Kazi ambayo whatever the contract says has been met, all of the thing Ninyo has been met. So wakisha, if all the Ninyo expectations or whatever in the clause in the contract imesha kuwa met, that's when me as the escrow company, I hand over the money to Ninyo Wangira or whoever was supposed to be given the money. Sasa watu wanajiuliza kwa nini escrow imekuwa formed, and wanasema the other parties are what did he say? It's a conglomerate. It's a company that has a few other companies within it. Of course, everyone is suspecting it's Adani, but they didn't mention that there. So that's why they're saying maybe you escrow pesa ya hiyo SHIF ambayo inachukuliwa naenda kwa hiyo escrow, ndio maana ndio Adani wakisha, if the government meets its obligation on the contract they agreed with Adani, that's when hiyo escrow itapatiana pesa to whether it's the government or Adani. So that is the question why Kenyans are asking, what is the why pesa inaenda kwa escrow. Lakini vile unaona ule jamaa anasema ati hiyo pesa iendi huko, hiyo pesa inaenda kwa account sijui 6. Zingine za sijui emergency hapa. It's a mess. What do you make of this? Ni ukora ya Ruto ama ni namna gani? Because like I said, I like the fact that people ask, I think it was Kalonzo and Wamalwa or other Kenyans said, we want to see that the actual contracts by Adani has been actually rescinded or have been cancelled. We want to see the evidence. Or else kwa sababu Ruto anaweza kusema tu, we are not longer going to use the Adani, but maybe Adani wanaendelea. Yeah, Mabri, maoni yako.
Oh, yeah. So, so Ruto introduced SHA less than a year ago, and so far, imekuwa na scandals right, left, and center. Because you even remember the initial chair alipatikana na scandals za kudivert cash, akakuwa suspended. You get? Na hata hakuwa amemaliza miezi mbili. Now, one thing you have to ask yourself is who is in this consortium? You know, for us to address it, lazima tujue hii consortium iko na nani na nani na nani. From what I know, in this consortium, we have Safaricom, and then we have a company called, I guess, Apeiro Limited, and there's another one called Convergence Network Solutions. So now, Apeiro Limited holds 59.5% in that stake in that consortium, and that is the company which is being linked to Adani, by the way.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. And I think it is part of the conglomerate Adani, you get?
Yeah, so how watu make deal na government.
Yes. Now, you also need to ask yourself, consortium, what was the need for this consortium? You know, one of the stakeholders was given the mandate, was basically operating the what do I call it? The transfer of, I don't know what, from NHIF to now SHA. I think it was transfer of data. And then Wayeke, I guess they bring technology. I guess Wayeke from Fiji ilikuwa. I want to get this correct. I guess they were trying to change the data, I guess, to electronic from NHIF to SHA. Sindio? Yes, that was it. So for you to address that nini, and in this consortium, kama a non-Kenyan company owns 59.3% stakes. The Kenyan company in this is Safaricom. We don't need even to know the stakes they have. The fact is, majority stakeholder ni Adani, for instance. You get?
Yes.
So there's a possibility hii pesa haiendi kwa account yote hapa Kenya, inaenda kwa that account hiyo yenye unasema. Someone was holding it.
Yes.
Because hata ukiniambia we are going to disburse hii pesa to this nini, who decides which this percentage should go to this, ama this should go to this, or ama this, like why do we have a lot of bureaucrats in such a simple nini? You get? Me,
yes.
I even thought anything to do with government money should stay either in National Bank ama KCB. You get?
Yes. National Bank ambayo huwezi itoa tu hivi ati unaninio. Hiyo ni banki ya serikali.
Yes. Actually pesa yote ya gava inafaika nini National Bank, and apparently KCB is now, I guess, government nini. So pia wana control gava vibaya sana.
Yeah, KCB pia I think it's a private bank.
No,
Kenya
no, no,
Central
no.
Bank.
Ilichukuliwa na gava.
You know,
Ilichukuliwa
hebu enda kaangalie lawyer nini Wangira kwa wapi, ningempatia homework kidogo. Yeye ndiye amependa ninio. Unajua ukiangalia that lawyer ambayo ina govern our banking system KCB, you cannot actually ninio huwezi ku ninio ku audit
yes.
the law. And if you can't audit, okay, if you're going to call it a national bank and you can't audit it, it's not a national bank. If the members of parliament, MPs, because MPs is our direct representative, if they cannot audit the central bank, that means that it's not a national bank. Because you should be able, if it's a public bank, we should be able to say, hey, hebu tuambie hii pesa inaingianga hapa kwa hii KCB ni ngapi, imebaki nani, imetolewa wapi na imeenda wapi na yeah, you see what I'm saying? Ni kama account yako.
Yes.
Account ya. So if we can't audit it, then it's not a national bank. There's nothing in national tu kwa jina, but it's private. I mean that's the argument I'm making. But Paul, ulikuwa unatoa nini, ulikuwa unaeleza kitu important than what I'm making noise about.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying is there's a possibility that there's a third party in this e-pesa because nao tutoke kwa media tuingie ground. Kama umepatana na mtu yote na umeona hata watu wakilalamika this SHA is not working, you get. I've met even mothers wenye wako in maternity wanakuambia vizuri, I guess inalipa kitanda. No, I guess inalipa the nini medicine and everything, but no kitanda, the medicine wewe unajilipia, you get. Just the other day uliona mama fulani alienda OC na alikuwa na hiyo shift hiyo, then she was like, walikataa kumtibu, alikuwa analia akisema ameenda kukufa na amelaani Ruto. I don't know kama uliona hiyo clip.
Yeah,
so this thing is not working. It is not working kabisa, and I feel what Ruto is doing is just bringing in new names in this market, you know, like kama SHA sahi ikiendelea, another president comes in, they will all struggle to make it work, you get. Then Ruto will be claiming the credit nini nililetaga SHA, you get.
Yeah,
because that's basically what he's doing, and it's so unfortunate.
Walikuwa nasema yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So no, nilikuwa nataka kutoa different point. Sema tu what maybe you needed to comment on his story ya Chief.
No, nilikuwa nasema walikuwa nasema to bring NHIF to up to date ingechukua around, is it 8 million or something, 800 million or something than hii Chief ambao anataka kuleta, which will cost I don't know how many billion. Basically say to update the NHIF ingekuwa cheaper than bringing this whole SHA Chief. And again, to your point, hizi pesa wanasema wanaziweka kwa hizi bank account sita. Why is it not working? Wanatuambia kuna billion hapa. Mbona watu kama huyo mama alienda kununua? Why? And she has a SHA, whatever it is. Why is it not working if the money is there? Wame collect 14 billion in what? Less than 2.5 months. Why is it not working?
Like, I'm very much interested to know. Unajua pesa ya gava, na kama umeona nini this anaitwa nani AG ni Attorney General ama ni Auditor General?
No, unasema Auditor General, yes.
Amekuwa na issue with these governors and everyone opening 1 million accounts na nini pesa inaenda akaunti moja. Si amesema hiyo ndo imekuwa the biggest challenge because unajua in every account you open there must be an authorizing party yenye ina authorize hii pesa ikitoka hapa lazima hizi signature zikue, you get. So in a situation whereby from KCB tumeweka Mabri, wewe na my brother alikuwa anaitwa nani,
Wangira.
Wangira, in another account you'll go upate kuna mimi, kuna Kip, and there is another person. So you will never know like hii pesa nani authorize, you get, because hiyo ndio mchezo wa town wanacheza. Me I thought for accountability purpose, hii pesa wache iwekwe account moja, ndio nikienda niambiwe pesa yangu sitibiwi nini, it is easier to hold the signatories accountable, you get.
Yeah.
But historia unaenda hapo unapata this has happened nini hapa, this has happened. Who are these signatories? Hizi account zilifunguliwa aje?
Yeah. And
why don't we have just a simple, sorry?
Yeah. And this is illegal and no one is being held accountable. Nani amesema yeye atashinda kabisa nani? Just to give you an example, Governor wa Nairobi, Madimples. Yeah, amesema atashinda 2027.
Sakaja. No, nimekwambia like nimekuchorea tu the whole plan of what is happening. It is just our nini tunauziwa a picture of like I only need to show people I'm your friend. Ndio nikiiba hata wewe mwenyewe uko like yeah, you know, I've managed to convince the public. So there's a big possibility. And unfortunately, this is the country we are in. Now, there's something interesting. Sijui kama uliona tweet by one Moses Kuria on 21st. But nadhani alidelete. Nili screenshot hapa. I have it. Ilikuwa on 21st of December, saa 2:29. Moses Kuria aliandika hivi. Wacha niongee nitoke. Industrial Park, dead. Special Economic Zones, dead. Export Processing Zones, dead. Manufacturing down to 6% of GDP. Foreign direct investment, lowest in 20 years. Exports as percent of GDP, 10% down from 28%. After trying the big shoes by Rebecca Miano and Salim Mvurya, I hope Governor Lee Kinyanchui will make the difference.
Akaidelete. Kwa sababu there's something alisema ni kama I think Moses Kuria anapata hii, unajua mlima ni moto saizi, so kujitenga na serikali will be something advisable. So maybe anajaribu kutoka kwa Ruto kidogo but vile but I don't think so, kwa sababu si unakumbuka vile Ruto alikutana na Uhuru Ishaweri, alafu Moses Kuria akaanza kusema ati he wants to go back to Jubilee. Si unakumbuka? He will consider going back to Jubilee. So these people are playing games. Here is an ya rafiki yako hapa alikuwa anaongea alikuwa anasema nini mkaanza kumkasirikia, maybe nani atatueleza kisheria alisema nini?
Ile pombe yote mbaya ya kuua watu rais aliagiza iletwe hapa kwa mlima, ndio imalize vijana wetu. Machifu wameambiwa muachane na hiyo pombe, wakunywe wakufe. Polisi wameambiwa muachane naye, watai watu wakunywe wakufe. Ati ndio idadi yetu ya wapiga kura ipungue. Mimi nasema Mungu yule uko uhai hata kubali hii jamii yetu iishe kwa sababu ya pombe.
Okay. Wangila, is your internet okay now? Because I know you've been struggling a little bit. You have been in and out. Is it okay?
I believe it's okay now. You know,
okay.
Watching that clip by, regarding Gachagua. Okay, just ask.
No, I wanted to ask you because I think this is something that we talked about when we were discussing here with earlier when you're in and out. Mabri was talking about the shisha, and when we were talking about the whole escrow account. And it reminded me of that discussion when we had a few weeks ago when you were telling me that, Kenyans might still be liable to pay Adani for this contract they entered it to by Ruto and his minions, because what would be the need to start this escrow account, which is holding funds to be given to probably this consortium? That means the government has to meet its obligation, and also this consortium has to meet its obligation for this money to be released. And we can see that of all these accounts we have been told by the government, the 6 accounts, they're receiving a couple of billions. They received 4 billion in the last 3.5 months, I think, based on that news clip. Wamama bado wanaenda they are going to, sick people are going to the hospitals and they're being turned down. They're saying SHAF, whatever the case is not working. So could it be that maybe as you took this position, Metoka, dang it. But anyway, what I was trying to say was like the earlier thing. I think Mabry, you've already addressed it. I just wanted to say, could it be that the government still owe this consortium this money, especially the Adani side of it, because they were supposed to make sure make sure hii deal iende through, but the government reneged on it. So the government, ile pesa Ruto alipewa, Raila alipewa, ile mhongo alipewa, they have to come up with that money to pay back Adani, okay, because the deal did not go through. So how can they get back that money? Through the shift, wanakata zingine wanaweka kwa hii escrow account ndio ifike hivyo whatever. That's my speculation, but that's what I wanted to ask Ninio. But anyway, to Gachagua. Mabry, huyu rafiki yako Gachagua sijui amesema rais anapeleka pombe kali huko ndio wasipige kura ikifika siku ya kupiga kura. Is there any Ninio to this? And also that, before that, something that hits home karibu na wewe. Agnes Kavindu. You know Agnes Kavindu? Si umemjua?
My senator.
I didn't even know she's your senator. Your senator
She's a senator
she had something
from Machakos.
Yeah. Alikuwa na kitu ya kusema. Are they friends with the governor, Ama?
Of course they are friends.
I don't know the politics there. That's why I'm asking. I'm not asking to your opinion.
Politics za Macha.
You're the real boss lady. Yeah.
Politics za Machakos ni complicated. By the way, about that clip, si walikuwa kwa Thanksgiving ceremony a particular MCA who is a good friend, a friend of mine, a very good friend, nominated MCA. But now, acha nianze na Rigathi before we come to Kavindu. Hapo, Kavindu anyway. Now,
Kavindu is very complicated.
Yeah.
Now,
you know something, unajua people wanaweza ona Rigathi akiongea wafikirie ajielewi ama anapiga tu government for what it is. But I wish among our listeners, and I wish mtu anaweza jitolea tu aseme tu ukweli. By the way, in Central kuna uzagwa pombe mbaya, like ile serious. Kama umesikia ni vile tu some cases are not addressed, but pombe uenda huko ni ile mbaya. Mimi nimeona from the ground, you get. So you remember before the crackdown, kitambo ulikuwa unaona people from hizo side za Central walikuwa walalamikaga sana sana kina mama about wazee wao kukunywa pombe, you get. But it is so real, ni vile right now I cannot speak to the fact to Rigathi's word vile anasema ati sahi president aliauthorize, but I can assure you whatever pombe huenda Central si the same na yenye inakuja nini Nakuru, inakuja Ukambani. It is a different nini alcoholic content. Wanauziwa zile pombe za Uganda hao mazi. So hiyo nayo it is not a speculation, siwezi kataa. Tafuta mtu anyone from Mathira ama atakwambia pombe ya huko ni highly addictive, you get. And sorry,
no, nilikuwa nakisema anyone from who is watching who's from Mathira or Central Province and knows anything about hii pombe inapelekwanga Central Province, please ingia hapa utueleze nini inaendelea.
Yes.
So you think it's done deliberately kupeleka kufanya vijana wakuwa addicted wasijali mambo ya siasa?
You know, partly yes, because hata ukiangalia kuna time, by the way, this nation, young people, they had now to like walikuwa so addicted to pombe hadi now unajua when you are useless hata you don't demand for jobs, then mheshimiwa akija awabaie kakwota na waambie vurugeni, mnavuruga, you get.
Yeah.
So it does happen, by the way, big possibility, it does happen.
So
now let's come to this Kavindu. Let's come to this Kavindu, and I'll give you the story ya Kavindu yote from where she started. How Kavindu became she started by vying for she's among vifaranga wa computer, by the way.
Yeah, she's not that popular.
No, Kavindu aliingia politics because apparently bwanake is the former senator for Machakos, Johnson Muthama, and the founder and the chairperson emeritus of UDA. Kama ushaisikiaga Senator Muthama, a very vocal guy from Ukambani.
Najua Muthama, I used to like Muthama alikuwa naongea
exactly
with conviction before.
Yes, now that Muthama in Kavindi is this Muthama.
Muthama ko UDA? Mabri tumekupoteza. Oh well. Mabri, can you hear me? Ai, leo sasa. Mabri, unanisikia? All right. Mabri sikusi. Melchizedek, karibu.
Asante sana bwana. Siku mingi.
Karibu siku mingi. Yes, sijakuona kwa siku mingi. Golgotha namna gani?
Nilienda kukula zile nini. Unajua tulikuwa na waziri mpya bwana.
Waziri mpya?
So mimi nilikuwa nimeenda huko at least nipate kitu. Nilitupwa nje. Jaribu.
Nimejaribu.
Mpaka rafiki yangu alipewa cheo bwana. Sasa mimi nimekwisha.
Rafiki yako gani amepewa cheo?
Waria, anaitwa ngani? Waria hapa nani?
Waria. Huyo ni nani? Maybe Mabri atatuambia Waria ni nani?
Hebu muulize kana najua.
Huyo ni nani Mabri?
Alikuwa rafiki yangu wakati wa maandamano.
Hanifa.
Okay. Tunaongelelea nani? Sorry, my net ilikuwa imego down nikakatika kidogo nikitaka kuelezea Kavindu.
Haya, endelea Kavindu kabla tujarudi kwa Mr. Golgotha Melchizedek mwenyewe. Haya, endelea.
Oh, yeah, so Kavindu is not a new name in politics. So, Kavindu, the first time alivae was in 2017 na alianza kuvae as a women rep in Machakos County. and akashindwa. She was in number 2 against the current women rep mwenye alikam na Wiper, Honorable Agnes Kamene. No, ni Agnes, Joyce Kamene, sorry. So but the then senator for Machakos was one Kabaka from CCU, chama cha Uzalendo. Kabaka ni ule seneta alishikagwa lodging na nini, sijui kama ulisikia seneta alikufia kwa lodging mahali.
Alikufia? Ai, sijasikia hiyo. Alikufia huko nini limua? Nani alikuwa mtu kitu haijulikani?
Inajulikana. It is a long story, hata ukiandika kwa social media. Ilikuwa 2019 hapo December. There is a senator alipass from nini. So when alipass, Kavindu was installed to buy in Machakos under Wiper ticket. Hapo ndio scam number 1 ilianza. Na alishinda like because hakuwa na mtu mwingine anapingana na yeye. By then Mudhama alikuwa amekusana na Kalonzo. So walimchukua wakamweka ndio abishane na nani na bwanake. You get? So bwanake naye akasema hata simama. Akasema hata simama. Hapo ndio sinema zilianzia. Now tangu sorry, hata nisitumie jina haina adabu. Since this honorable was elected, my bad. But they have been like all over asking, kazi yake ni, the last time you had Wavinya akona issue nini, kesi ya sijui kuibado kupeleka wapi. You get?
Yeah.
Senator Kavindu ako hapo. She never speaks. The last time she spoke on an issue to do with Machakos County was immediately after the 2022 elections. Kulikuwa na some demolitions around EPZ. Kama ulisikia zilileta keo sana. Mahali this lady singer alikuwa anaishi. You remember a lady alikuwa anaimba na kina nonini kitambo. Lady G or somebody. Alibomolewa nyumba yake. It is just around Mavoko. Na likitokea alikuwa anasema ati Ruto asitujaribu, pia Wakamba tunajua uchawi. That is the word she used. Aya. If we go to her credentials, she has nothing to show hata amefika nini form 1. You get? Aya. Come 2022, in Machakos, we are among the counties zenye zilielect nini, inaitagwa girl school, women rep, senator na governor. They are all women. And then, funny enough, wakati G7 ina happen, all women are there. Then unashindwa, who is supposed to oversight too?
Right. Nikasa ni marafiki.
Alafu wote wametoka one party. Ndio unaonaga Wavinya nini inatokea mbaya. Anything hata nini huyu Auditor General akitoa report ya kaunti zenye pesa yao ya development ijatumika Wavinya. Kaunti zimefungua sijui accounts mob Wavinya ndeti. Kaunti sijui ziko na shida Wavinya ndeti. Like anything wrong you'll find it in Machakos.
Wow.
It is because the senator is doing nothing.
Yeah, Kavindu angali maneno huko. Maybe anakunywa na Kavindu.
Blame because for her, hata sidhani she understands the role of a senator, and I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Wewe utapotea kwa Subaru wewe.
Let me tell you, unaona hata wakaabduct bibi yangu hapa. Like mimi sitatoa sijui ati speech nikiwaambia ati Ruto nirudishie bibi, wanirudishie mwili nizike na kesho nizushi, you know, because there is nothing new in this country, you know. If we subject to this man ama to anyone to oppress us, you know, that is the making of a dictator, because kesho ataabduct mwingine, abegiwe, arudishiwe, waambie wewe usijaribu kuongea vibaya tena, you get.
Yeah.
So the point is, I don't think she understands her role. Either way, go check her record in the Senate. This woman appears, and I'm sorry to use this woman. This senator appears. Let me not seem like I'm attacking her agenda. She only appears when she's voting yes, no, Rigathi must go, you know.
Yeah.
She never seems to present anything substantial in that Senate. Demolitions are happening initially and normally. Me, I see Mount Kenya leaders, they gang together and they are like, you know, we have to address this issue. They speak it in the floor of the house. Kantu kambani, tunakuja kutisha president, sisi ni wachawi. Honestly speaking, is that the best we can pull? By the way, unaweza fikiria ni joke. I want you to go to the internet na uangalie the mavoko nini. Hata actually our governor aliongea akasema tunajua uchawi, you know.
You know what? But to be fair to her, she's not by herself. Tuko na Oscar Sudi ambayo aliwekwa engineer kutoka sijui ilikuwa university nyingine ambayo ilisema hiyo nini hatuitambui. Mr. Golgotha, ulisikia hiyo maneno ya Sudi? Yeah.
Actually pia Kavindu alipewa honorary degree, I guess a year ago or something.
Ati nini Melchizedek?
Nilikuwa nacheka nikiona Oscar Sudi amepewa engineer, yani mpaka amevaa kofia, nikasema mimi kuisha, hakuna haja nifanye engineer.
Na nimesikia hiyo university imesema tutambui hiyo ni kama hiyo degree ni ya bandia, so they don't recognize it.
Alionyeshwa kwa TV kwamba graduate.
You saw guys, don't let's forget Sudi and Kavindu. Muliona Waluke said hadi Sudi akashtuka. Waluke said he was jailed for 71 years. Sasa ndio yako 50 years.
I saw that clip. See your clip. I didn't listen to it, but I saw the clip. Kwa sababu alizungumza before nani? Before Sudi.
Wait. Where is it? I think amejeliwa for 71 years. Hadi Sudi akamcorrect.
Sudi. Wacha niitafute. I think I have it. Nilikuwa hapo mahali. Lakini Kenya kuna vituko jamani. Hii vituko iko Kenya. Hii ni Hollywood. Hata si mambo mengine. Hii ni Hollywood kabisa. I think I lost it. Nilikuwa nayo mahali but nimepoteza anyway.
Kuna jamaa, unakumbuka yule jamaa mwenye alikuwa na fight sana na Raila sana, alikuwa anaitwa nani? Alikuwa anaongea na confidence. Yule alikuwa anaitwa Mungi wa Oria ama nani? Ule jamaa alikuwa anaitwa nani? Sasa amechaguliwa kama waziri sijui.
Waziri amechaguliwa kuwa waziri.
Mwangi wa Iria. Huyo Mwangi wa Iria. Mwangi wa Iria.
Yes. Unakumbuka yule alikuwa mstari wa mbele?
Wakati amechaguliwa.
Amechaguliwa.
Yeah. Yes, sinalikuanga nasimamanga na Azimio hapo ati yao ndio sasa ndio wanapinga Ruto, si ndio?
Azimio Brigadier.
Azimio Brigadier. Lakini kweli siasa ya Kenya.
Unajua alikuwa amesema, unajua kumbuka alikuwa amesema yeye hawezi fanya na Ruto hata kama ameshikwa amenyongwa sijui nini vile alikuwa anaongea.
Sasa ndio huyo ameshajipata ako ndani ya serikali kati huko ndani kabisa.
Wakati niliona amechaguliwa mpaka amewekwa pale nikasema basi hii imeenda.
Sasa kuna maandamano inakuja December 31st. Sijui kama mmeisikia ama ni mimi ndio peke yangu ndio naiona. Ni mimi peke yangu? Mniambie Mabri ama Mr. Golgotha.
Mimi Kenya.
Hii maandamano inakuja kweli?
Hii Kenya imenishinda baba. Siwezi danganya. Kama Mabri bado labda anaweza sema lakini mimi I give up.
Well, by the way, you know,
ile ni comedians ndio tuko nayo kama Kenya ni comedians
And I think kila mtu amechoka na Kenya. You know, earlier today, kama mlikuwa keen, you noticed Lee Funeral Home ilikuwa ina trend sana.
Nini?
So, Lee Funeral Home, the mighty Lee Funeral Home, ilikuwa ina trend sana. And people are suspecting, although bado, it is still being suspected, there is a key individual person through an accident. So people are like, akisikwe ni mwenye tu nafikiria. Sitaki kutaja majina.
Kasongo.
Actually, I got some calls. Kwani nani maombi yetu imejibiwa? I'm like, where? Kwani mimi ndiye nataka niabdaktiwe wadau.
Niliona kwa ninio kwa ex ya Francis Gaito ninio. It was hiyo helicopter ilikuwa ya Ruto, registered to Ruto based on the tail number. Lakini sijui ni one of the ninio cabinet members or sijui nini, was something like that from serikali.
There's a story behind it na sijui mbona ichezwe chini. I think it's because wanajua Kenya they are expecting bad news anytime, you know. I think kulikuwa na accident ilikuwa I guess ni Nakuru around Suswa. And in that accident kulikuwa na gari kama sijui ngapi kama 4. Then there was a Prado. So it is being suspected that Prado ilikuwa na mheshimiwa fulani because even in Citizen it is walitangaza but hawakusema ni nani. Ikasemekana that the honorable and his entire family walichukuliwa na chopa wakapelekwa I guess Nairobi hospital, you get. Then the reason why Lee Funeral Home was trending, it is because it is being alleged kulikuwa na wanajeshi asubuhi hapo surrounding the vicinity. But so far, from even my sources, you know, sijasikia anything. Maybe if something comes up, ndakudm kwa email. Make sure to drop me your email.
Please, niambie. I'll go live immediately and be the first one to break the news.
Yeah. So, and I trust my sources, of course.
Uko na intelligence yako.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I trust my sources big time.
Yeah, uniambie ni nani, but ni mtu wa kutoka wa cabinet hapo hivyo, ni cabinet hapo ya Kasongo.
I don't know, I'm not kama hiyo information ijanifikia. I'm still so let's not speculate. Hata tu tusema Wakenya wako na mood ya kutaka Lee Funeral Home wapate biashara for now. And you know right now kila mtu amekasirika if you see anything to do because everyone was like yes.
Aya.
Let me copy this email.
Okay. While you're copying yote niendelee. Aya. Kuna mtu tu walikuwa naongea hapa, nafikiri mnamjua.
Nilikuwa nikikampenia baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Si ni kweli? Lakini ili usupport Zakayo lazima ususpend brain cells. Siwezi suspend my brain cells. Hapo niliambia baba, hapo naye siwezi mimi nakuheshimu, mimi nilikukampenia, lakini siwezi support serikali ambayo inadhulumu maisha ya wananchi ya Kenya. Ukisema hivyo, wewe sasa umemea pembe, lazima ukatwe pembe, tutakuonyesha 2027, tutafukuza hapa. Hakuna shida hata ukinifukuza. Nyinyi wote ni MPs. Hao watu wa wa chama wakinifukuza, kuna shida yote? Hakuna. Jamani, nitakuwa naishi na uoga, tunaambiwa tu hautakuwa hapa. Hautakuwa hapa. Tutadeal na wewe. Mimi nilitoka huko Nyalenda nikikuja hapa town. Mtu mwenye alinichagua ni hao wananchi. Na Mungu ndiye aliwaguide nilichague. Mungu ndiye anachagua kiongozi. Mimi ukinimwagia unga, mimi namwaga mboga. Ukimwaga mboga, namwaga unga. Lakini ukiweka mboga, naweka unga. Hatutabembelezana hii nchi. Nyinyi wenyewe mlinichagua. Mlichagua mshenzi? Hapana. Mlichagua mtoto? Hapana. Hadi kila wakati saa zile vitu zimetokea vya vyeo, wewe ni bado ni mtoto. Watu, kuna mama yenye babu wewe hawezi patia mimba hii dunia. Watu wanasema ati mimi ni mtoto. Lakini wakati wa kushikwa babu wewe ni mkuu. Wakati wa koti babu ni mkuu. Wakati wa tiagas babu ni mkuu. Sasa unaona venye wanacheza na maneno. So sisi hatutaogopa mtu yeyote. Tutaheshimu baba Raila Amolo Odinga kama baba yangu kisiasa. Yeye ndio baba yetu na tunamwombea. Hata wewe baba yangu hapa.
Haya, Mr. Golgotha, ndio huyo rafiki yako ameongea. Ni kama amesema hata baba aheshimiwe, lakini hiyo mambo ya kuingia kwa Ruto hataki kusikia hiyo maneno.
Mimi saa hii rafiki yangu ni tumbo.
Ni nani?
Tumbo yangu.
Tumbo si uingie serikali basi, kama ni tumbo yako ndio wakupatie nini chakula.
Sasa nifanye nini baba? Sasa kama kila mtu anaingia, mimi ni nani nikatae?
Hata wewe pia umeingia serikali. Sasa ndio tumeisha. Kama Melchia mengi
Uliona vile watu wanafurahi kwamba watu wa Mlima wameingia kwa serikali. Wewe hujaona?
Nani alifurahi?
Si wewe, hata wewe hapo.
Mimi nilifurahi.
Mpaka karibu unyoe.
Wewe nafikiri leo ulienda uliguza ile kitu. Ile kitu mnakunywanga na captain. Wacha natafuta captain. Kesho nitatafuta captain kesho. Christmas kesho.
Mimi saa hii siasa ya Kenya is above my level kwa sababu yani hakuna kitu inaenda. Hata tumekanyaga mafuta yote. Hata unasema ati kuna maandamano yenye inakuja, hizo ni story tu. Hizo ni story.
Sini tati, wacha tani ulize Mabri yako kwa ground. Mabri, hiyo hujasikia ninio? Hujasikia ninio maandamano on the 31st? Ama ni story tu?
Hizo ni story. For now, I don't think, by the way, sincerely speaking, I don't think uta expect any maandamano anytime soon. And I keep telling you that.
So tungoje tu mpaka 2027.
Unajua, unless now, you know, we are still watching the finance bill because they still have to bring us another finance bill. But ile tu sincerely speaking, I don't think, and I always say, unaona the so-called Gen Z maandamano, if you ever sit down very well na uiangalie, it was nothing to do with the Gen Z. We were just a tool being used. But there were other powers behind the maandamano. You get?
Yeah.
Just to like ndio ikae ni Gen Z wali come up na the idea of maandamano. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. Sahi, what we can do, like hata tuendelee kuwapea headache, kama vile history ya online inawakula kichwa, you know. And it is so funny, even
Story gani
before
hiyo?
the Gen Z, history ya hizi meme za Kasongo hii inafanya even abduct watu, you get.
Yeah.
It is so funny because even before the Gen Z maandamano, which organically it's claimed ilitoka TikTok. You remember there was a bill to ban TikTok from Kenya, you know that?
Yeah.
Until now wakaenda wakaongea ikarudi, you get. So at some levels, from where I stand, I don't think hii maandamano it had anything to do with the Gen Z or what. Like the idea behind the maandamano, the Gen Zs tulikam tu kuishikilia tukaona because tuko wengi na ni fun, there is no riot, tukaamua tuingie. The people who had organized it walianza kuona by the way ina go out of their hands, you know, things had to be controlled. For now, unless kama vile tuliona maandamano ya ya femicide and so, I don't think there is any maandamano like in contention with the government policies or anything. We just wait for another finance bill, and see how things zita fall out.
Play out.
Now, let me comment briefly on what Babu Owino is saying. And I always say Babu Owino is quite pragmatic because he knows what the people want to hear. You know, anajua sahi wa Kenya wa support baba, so anajua hata akaamua kushoot, it is done because wananchi wengi wanamsupport. But now whatever he speaks ni sawa. I want to look at it in this way. According to the Kenyan politics, of course, we slaves to our own political parties. That's what I would say. Like, whatever, if the party says go this way, you go this way. Otherwise, they will just either suspend you or do what, you know. Now, I want to look at it in this way. It is being said the reason why Baba came into this government, wakafanya handshake, is to bring peace to this country. So, by Babu speaking otherwise against that is actually provoking for chaos. That's what we are supposed to think, sindio? And that is a bigger crime. But hii ni nini inafanyika whereby Babu bado anaongea vibaya na ako ODM, you know. Sifuna anataka kuongea vibaya na bado yeye ni secretary general wa ODM, you know. Hii ndio naitaga mchezo wa town. ODM wanataka kuact ni kama wako kwa gava, alafu hapa nje bado wao ndio wana defend mwananchi. You cannot have your cake and have it. Babu Owino kama ako serious, he should stand up na aseme nimeresign kutoka hii ODM, let's go and have a by-election, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Babu Owino knows come 2027, because Baba never supports young people. That's one thing you should know. Ameweka tu basket zake, like odds zake kwa GG, anajua akianguka, because Baba hawezi mpea hiyo certificate ya nini kitu ya kwanza. Hii ya Nairobi governor hata mpea, probability ni itarudi kwa Madimbos. Nani
lakini watu
Sifuna.
watachagua Madimples kweli?
Ai, si ungoje uone. There's a big probability. Otherwise, Babu anajua akianguka hii siasa is done for good. And there is always that aspect of ule mtu ongea mingi na vibaya ndio they get rewarded. So there is a possibility either come back as a CS or something.
Hey, Babu. Lakini I think you never know. Maybe ata ilikuwa nasemekana alikuwa anataka kushikana na nani Ndindi Nyoro na wengine ndio waendelee.
Hizo ni story za jaba. You know, like I'm saying, there's no way Babu is just being charismatic and strategic. You know, aliskip hiyo story ya Rigathi kuimpichiwa. You know.
Yeah.
Hizo ndio zile michezo nakwambia. This is what happens when they want to pass a bill. Wanakuwaga washa calculate even the people who are going to abstain from voting, they have their rigid numbers. So hata Babu kutokam, it does not make any sense. Angekuwa in the floor of the house tuone argument yake na aseme I'm not voting. You know, you'd rather come in and vote no rather than skip the voting.
Yeah. Hey. Anyway, hii ni siasa ya Kenya. But tutaona vile we shall see what 2025 will bring us. Kwa sababu December 31st tumeambiwa kutakuwa na maandamano and we shall be waiting for it. Anyway,
niseme kitu.
Yeah. Sema kitu.
Unajua by the time niliona wa ODM walijoin Ruto the first time, wakina Joe, wakina Mbadi, hapo ndio niliona kitu ambaye niliona ya kwamba hao watu wa siasa ni wa kuchezea watu akili. Juu unakumbuka vile Joe walikuwa wanasema yeye hawezi fanya na Ruto hata wafanye nini, unaona? Mpaka waliwaita majina. All of a sudden yeye ndiye alikuwa mstari ya mbele ya kusema ya kwamba nitadeal na wale ambao ongea kwa serikali, unaona? Sisi tuko ndani, sisi ndio serikali. Just imagine mtu amesema ya kwamba mimi sitawahi kuja kwako, alafu ukileta chakula kwa meza yeye ndiye anararua ya kwanza kushinda wenye walikuwa wana. So you expect watu pia wakuwe na hiyo kwamba hiyo serikali na watu wa siasa wako wazuri. Hakuna. Mimi nawaambia hata huyu mwenye anaongea hapo ati tuheshimiane baba sijui nini. Yeye pia ako tu na nia ya kuingia kwa serikali lakini hana njia ya kuingia. Sasa ni hizo ndio njia anatumia ndio aonekane ya kwamba yeye pia anaweza ongea. So these things vile hii kitu zenye hizi vitu zenye zinaenda kulingana na mafikirio za hao watu. Wao wanafikiria tumbo zao, familia yao, lakini apart from that hakuna kitu wanafikiria. Wao kazi yao ni kusema nataka mtoto wangu asome vizuri, familia yangu asikie vizuri, na mtumbo yangu ikue imefura. Hata kama nikienda niende gym nitengeneze bicep, lakini tumbo ibaki hivyo hivyo. Unaona?
Anyway. Mimi wacha nifunge duka nianze kungoja Krismasi. Krismasi hata imefika. But wacha niangalia hapa. Haya,
mimi yangu ilishafika kitambo. Hata imepita na 54.
Imepita. Merry Christmas Golgotha huko Golgotha. Merry Christmas Mabri.
Golgotha tayari imefika na 54 minutes, nilishasema happy new year, happy whatever.
New Year bado wewe. Ngoja, wacha kuwa na haraka.
Leo nimekunywa ile kitu.
Hii syllabus ataikimbiza sana.
Inatukimbiza na 2025 ndio sasa ndio itakimbia kushinda vile iko na kuambia. Mimi vile naiona. Haya, Mabri nimechukua ninyo yako. So wewe nitakutumia ka message huko. Anyway, kesho nitakuwa off. Kesho ni Krismasi, tutawacha siasa tukule sherehe or whatever ni leo. But nashukuru sana. Thank you so much. Wacha nifunge duka. Let me acknowledge people on the chat. Okay? Labani naona umeingia baadaye, umeingilia Babu Owino. Labani wewe na siasa yako. Labani unajua naingianga kama mambo imekuwa moto, karibu sana. Thank you so much Labani. Joseph Beidas, asante sana. Nani tena? Jason Opio Adori, thank you so much also for being part of it. New Jerusalem Choir AICC Kathiani, thank you so much for being here. James Mwangi, kama kawaida, nice seeing you brother. Nani mwingine? Francis Rungu, nakuona hapo pia, thank you so much. Pritipal Kauru, you're the first one here. Thank you so much. Salute. Black pia lipitia kasalimia watu. Thank you for stopping by. Na usiwache kupotea Black. Uingianga usalimia watu huku pia kwa ninio. Ann Muturi, thank you so much for the compliment. I'm glad you find this channel informative. Thank you so much. Nani mwingine? Ai jamani. Hey. Shi Mariam pia alikuwa hapa hivi. Shukran. Erika Yaga pia mwanasiasa mkali. Hakuingia leo lakini shukran. Nani mwingine namsahau? Everyone else who has been here and all of you who have been watching, mnaangalia kisirisiri huko pia, nashukuru. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment and hit the notification button. Mabri, shukran. And Wangira, we also want to thank you. I feel bad that your internet is going later shida, so you have to leave early, but it's okay. I'll be here for another day and we'll have another session and we'll talk about other things as this syllabus ya Kenya inaendelea. Thank you so much guys. I will see you on the 26th probably. Kesho ni Krismasi. I wish you a Merry Christmas and also a Happy New Year and your prosperous future. Hopefully Kasongo atatoka nao maminio wow, tukuwe na a real revolution where Kenya will have a true constitutional democracy as it's supposed to be. Our republic is supposed to be. Mabri, maoni yako ya mwisho kabla sijaondoka?
It's a Merry Christmas from me. Naamka asubuhi niende up country probably by 26th, 27th and ndio ndarudi mtaa. Yeah, so kesho na travel.
Sawa, safiri salama na ukue chonjo bwana. Naona huko kuna traffic huko. Ilikuwa njia gani ile? Naivasha and sijui njia gani. Kulikuwa na traffic kweli.
Hiyo ni Naivasha na Ruto aliwaambia atawatengenezea, by the way. That's another lie. Si alikuwa huko, I guess ilikuwa last year, akaambiwa kuna traffic nini accidents. Ndakutumia hizo clips uone.
Haya, sawa. Thank you so much Mabri. Safiri salama na have a nice Christmas. Uhag bibi, watoto, family members, mama, baba, kila mtu huko. Usherikwe siku njema and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and thank you so much. Everyone else, like I said, do not forget, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment, and the notification bell. Hit it, okay? So next time when I'm on, you'll get the notification when you come in. Ama namna gani? Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. This is Kenyan Revolutionary. I'll see you later. Ama namna gani? Peace and blessings. I'm out.